A local man's combining his passion for photography with a serious conflict overseas.
He's back from Ukraine after spending weeks in the war-torn country.
News 6 Insider Guide Crystal Moyer introduces us to the purpose behind this emotional trip. Crystal.
Yes, ladies. I met an insider, TJ Waller, at a launch not too long ago. He's from Geneva in Seminole County and works as a nature photographer. He recently returned from a month-long trip to Ukraine, sharing what things are like as war continues from behind his camera lens.
I can't go over there and do something about Putin, but I can go over there and use my skills as a photographer and other skills that I have to try to get the story back here so people can see the truth of what's happening.
TJ Waller, a Central Florida nature photographer, says he saved up some money and traveled to the war-torn country of Ukraine.
When I went into Odessa and Mykolaiv, where things were happening, then it got a little more tense, but I was just determined to get the story, to get the truth, to get the pictures.
Waller saying things got real in Odessa when he saw what looked like an aircraft flying toward the city from a distance.
It was actually one of the missiles that Russia had fired from the Black Sea, and it went directly over me, so close that I could see the numbers on the missile.
Waller witnessing several bombings during his visit, some shot down by Ukrainian forces, others destroying buildings like the civilian warehouse, another hitting an apartment building, leaving cars charred, many civilians hurt or even killed. Waller running towards the danger with Ukrainian soldiers.
I was just sitting in a corner of a blown out building, and one young kid, he was 19 or 20. He's crouched down. He has his weapon in his arms. I went up to him and Google Translate. What were you thinking of? Family. Family.
During the month-long visit, Waller worked with his military contacts delivering supplies to special forces.
This is when I was detained for being a Russian spy.
Taking hours to go through questioning and credential verification before he was freed, then continuing to deliver supplies to Ukrainian soldiers like a sniper, who Waller says was grateful when he realized he was there to help.
Gives me the biggest bear hug, and he says, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," with tears in his eyes. I mean, it just tore me apart. Yeah, it's my pleasure. You know, it's my honor.
During his travels, Waller says he also captured the beauty of the country, sharing photos of Ukraine's national flower, the sunflower, the Arch of Freedom monument that stands at the capital of Kyiv, and showing the realities of families dealing with war, a soldier on leave spending what could be his last visit with his girlfriend.
The things we take for granted over here is crazy. I met so many Americans that didn't even make it into Ukraine that were helping at refugee houses and stuff like that for children.
How did that make you feel when you saw Americans there actively helping?
Proud.
Waller says his job is not done there yet. He wants to save up some money so he can return to Ukraine. He's not sure when exactly that will be. If you're looking to help the people of Ukraine, including the soldiers and refugees, I'm going to post a few links on clickorlando.com/insider. Waller is urging those making monetary donations to do your research and make sure the organizations you are sending money to are legit. And ladies, you know, this was very special for him because he says he's a photographer and he saw initially a photo of a little girl that had to be, you know, dug out of rubble. You know, her apartment complex was bombed while she was sleeping. And the photos surfaced and she was still holding on to her teddy bear. And he said that was such an emotional photo for him. And he says, I need to do something about it. I need to go there and get photos myself to bring back and share with us. So
yeah, and the emotion's still just so raw. You can see how meaningful this is to him.
Yeah, and you know, he spent a lot of time with the soldiers there at first. He says he was detained several times for being a Russian spy. But after being able to help communicate, of course, there's a language barrier there. He says they were so grateful that he was there to help them. There's simple things they need, like binoculars and ammunition and just simple things to help get them through. It's been over 6 months. They've been dealing with this. And he says they're not stopping. They want to get Russia out of there, and they want their freedom as a country. So, you know, something that some people can relate. Obviously, we do have our military force. So whatever you guys can do to help, he's very thankful for that.
How can we follow along and see more and support him?
Well, I am posting some links. He does have military contacts there. So the links that I'll post on clickorlando.com/insider are legit. Those will be going directly to those contacts that he has worked with.
Good.
And I think that's important here because you just never know who you're
There's
giving
so
to.
many different things
Yeah.
on websites and stuff. It's hard to-
Exactly. So he's been over there and he has contacts that's delivering, you know, the things that they need greatly there. So of course I'll post that and it should be up in about an hour or so.
He had a great perspective from just the hardest things to see to some of
Yeah.
the most beautiful things that are still there.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about that is it is a war-torn country, but he's like, some people are still back living there. So he's like, you know, the sirens are constantly going off several times a day. And he's like, it goes off so many times, people don't even run anymore. People are still at the beach,
Yeah.
still living their lives.
Going
And-
to school, dropping
Right.
the kids off at school.
Exactly. And he's like, that's something we take for granted here in America, that we don't have to deal with that. And it just really brings this into perspective. So I'm really glad that he was able to share that with us and bring the story back to the forefront.
And he's an insider.
He is an insider. That's how I met him.
There you go.
Thanks, Crystal.